Let's go with Joe and Joe again, I guess. Yeah.
Joe and Joe.
Yeah. Edition number two. The second edition.
Second edition.
All right. Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Agents of Helm at the Movies. This week, Johanna and I got an opportunity to see Terminator Genesis, but I don't like that.
Yeah, it sounded like you were trying to go a different direction, and then it just.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's cool.
Okay. Okay. Hello and welcome to another edition of Agents of Helm at the Movies. I'm Joe. I'm joined here by Johanna. Say hello, Johanna.
Hey.
And again, like last time, this is the Joe and Joe edition of Agents of Helm at the Movies. And this week, we got an opportunity to see Terminator Genesis over the July 4th holiday weekend. But before we get into that, Johanna, did you enjoy your holiday?
I did. It's actually my husband's and my anniversary, and
Oh,
we picked it.
congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. We've been married 6 years. Our yes, our anniversary is on the 4th of July, and we just spent the whole day together, basically eating ourselves to death, and then watching Terminators get killed to death. So, like that.
That's a beautiful way to spend your anniversary.
It truly is.
Dinner, dancing, Terminators.
Exactly.
Can't think
No
of a
other
better way.
way.
Yeah, myself, had a couple of barbecues. I didn't really eat too much. I don't know, for whatever reason, when I'm at barbecues, I don't like to eat too much. I don't know. It's something psychological. I have no idea. But I think total over 2 days at barbecues, I think I only had two hamburgers.
What?
Yeah,
Blasphemy.
two hamburgers,
Blasphemy.
maybe, yeah, and a couple of hot dogs. Um,
Okay, that's slightly better. Slightly better.
yeah. So hey, the best part, yeah, usually, I didn't feel sick or anything, so it was good. So,
Yeah. That's look, if you can get through 4th of July barbecues without being sick, it's a success. Total success.
oh no, Malik just texted me, so I'm just letting him know that we started,
Mm.
so that he doesn't really need to jump on. Uh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. We're talking about barbecues.
I was saying
Yeah.
that if you can get through a barbecue like at the end of the day and you're not sick, you've done a good job.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was only the. I guess that was the most important thing that happened this weekend was hanging out
Yeah.
with family, going to barbecues, but not to be outdone. You still had Terminator Genesis. Uh, Now I didn't have high hopes for this movie initially, to be honest with you. So I went the cheapo route, and I saw this movie at 9:45 in the morning.
Ha.
Um, in order to save, in order to save a few bucks. I mean, it's like half price if I go at 9:45 in the morning. So not having high hopes,
Mhm.
but still wanting to see it, I went at 9:45 in the morning to save some money. And I didn't see it in 3D or IMAX or anything like that. So $7 Terminator. I was like, cool. If I hate it, I'm not gonna hate myself too much because I only spent $7. So, but I have to say, Anna, I sat through this movie and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't. I, I went in with low expectations, but I came out thinking, you know what? It wasn't that bad. What were your initial feelings after you saw it?
Okay, I also did not have high expectations after seeing Arnie come out in that trailer. I'm like, dear God, is this going to be some sort of vanity project? The rest of it didn't seem very interesting to me. I did not go the cheapo route because I had a date and I didn't want to appear cheap to my husband.
Woohoo!
And I think he didn't want to seem cheap to me. So no mention of matinee was made. Um, so I was pleasantly surprised as well by the first 40 minutes. There and I was impressed, despite myself, by Arnie. I actually thought Arnold was the best part of this movie, and I wasn't expecting that. He just slipped right into the Terminator role as a like a hand in a glove, and he was the best, one of the best parts. Basically, to explain a little bit, the explanation for having old Arnold in the movie is he went back to when Sarah was 8 or something, and he saved her life. He had been sent to protect her, and he saved her life from another Terminator, and he raised her because her parents died.
Yeah, but they never really explain how he gets back or anything like that.
Oh
I mean,
no,
which is
who
which was
sent
kind
him
of
back or
yeah, that which is kind of weird, saying his memory had been that part of his memory had been deleted, so you
yeah.
never know who sent him back
And they
or
say,
why, or anything like that.
and like what they say is, oh, like by some person we don't know. So you're thinking this is Chekhov's erased memory, like we're gonna find out at the end, or it's gonna have to do with what happens later, and it doesn't. It's just a plot
Yeah,
contrivance.
it's just a plot hole. I guess it's not a plot hole because they do address it, but I wasn't really satisfied with that explanation. I mean,
No.
you just don't know who or why. It wasn't John Connor. Who could it be? But
Yeah.
just to go back and just to you know let's tell them what this movie is actually about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, um, so basically, the movie starts out with showing you the events that take place prior to the first Terminator, right? It shows you the Resistance attack on Skynet and them getting, ultimately destroying Skynet.
Really well done, by the way. I think
It
that
was.
was
I did really did like
yeah,
that.
that was a sequence that many people have been waiting for.
Right. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. I loved the way they created the young Arnold. So when Skynet realizes it's going to lose, it decides to send Arnold back,
Mm-hmm.
or the original Arnold Terminator from 1984 decides it's going to send that Terminator back in time to 1984, obviously, to kill Sarah Connor. And as the Resistance is breaking through, and they figure out that this is a time machine, uh, John Connor starts looking for volunteers to send back in time to save his mother. And of course, he
Guess
ends up picking
who?
Kyle Reese, right? Because actually, the first scene in the movie is John Connor saving Kyle Reese as a child. So Kyle Reese pretty much is enamored with John Connor,
Mm-hmm.
wants to be John Connor. He's like a father figure to him, uh, and they're really close friends. So John Connor decides to send Kyle Reese back. And John Connor also already knows everything that was going to happen up to this point, right?
Also, like for a while, no one tells Kyle Reese that he's John's baby daddy.
Yeah.
No.
John never divulges that information prior to sending him back in time. And then I had to say, once Kyle Reese gets back to 1984, and the Arnold Terminator, the original Arnold Terminator, get back, I have to say they did an excellent job in recreating those scenes because it was almost exactly like watching the first Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
From the garbage truck, from Arnold appearing next to the garbage truck, and Kyle Reese falling from the air in that alley. Uh, it was awesome, and everything Kyle Reese does when he falls in that alley to from taking the bumps pants and being approached by the cop. And he says, when he gets the gun, he's like, "What day is it? What year is it?" And I mean, that's all exactly like it how it happened in the first Terminator, but one slight difference, Johanna. And you remember what that was?
No.
Come on, Johanna. The cop turns out to be a T-1000.
Oh,
In this new Terminator, the cop turns out to be a T-1000.
Asian Terminator, which was my second favorite part of this film, even though he was in it for like 10 minutes. That guy rocked it. I wanted him to be in the rest of the movie, and then sadly,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, Asian Terminator, as we're calling him, is being played. It was played by Byung Hun Lee, and some of you may recognize him, and that's because he played Storm Shadow in the last two GI Joe installments.
Uh,
So that's weird because I was like, that guy looks so familiar. I've seen it before. I obviously looked him up when I got home. I was like, oh, Storm Shadow. But yeah, him and the T-1000. The T-1000 is chasing him, and he just like in the original Terminator, Kyle Reese goes into the sporting goods store, and he pretty much recreates everything that uh, the original actor, the original Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn, does in the original Terminator. Like from getting the jacket off the hanger or off the rack, or putting the sneakers against his feet to see what size they are, real quickly. I mean, there's all of that was done in the original Terminator, and I really like that. Um, but getting back to Arnold because that was also pretty cool. When Arnold comes through and he approaches the three guys, and he's like, "Your clothes, give them to me now." And they're like, they say the exact same lines from the first Terminator. And then who shows up, Johanna? Oh, Johanna took off on me.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no biggie.
Yeah, there are like all these alerts going off on my iPad, and I tried to turn off the sound. I think I did.
I didn't.
Um,
Okay, yeah, I didn't
you
hear
didn't
him.
hear them?
No,
Oh, that's even better.
I didn't
All
hear him.
right. Super, super, super keen. All right. So we were
Uh,
talking about the sporting goods store.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you where I left off.
Yeah.
And I said, uh, they recreated the scene where Arnold comes through and he approaches the three guys and he's like, "Your clothes, give them to me now." And they respond just like they did in the 1984
Mm-hmm.
version. But who shows up at that point, Johanna?
Old Arnie.
Old Arnie.
Old Arnie.
And what does he say to young Arnie?
I've been waiting for you.
Exactly. He's
I've
been
been
waiting
waiting
for.
for you.
They did a great job of recreating old Arnie. I mean, young Arnie.
They
I mean,
did.
he was
How did they
huge.
do that?
I saw something on TV. They used Arnold today's Arnold for some of the like the facial stuff, and they just made him look a
Huh.
little younger.
Huh.
Um, yeah, and they added the long hair and everything. Uh, but yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it didn't look like 100% like the 1984 version of
No.
Arnold, but it was close enough.
I mean,
And
he looked like young, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like he looked like young Terminator, which I guess was kind of it was a true match. So in terms
yeah,
of yeah.
yeah, that was pretty awesome. And he says, "I've been waiting for you." And then he hits him in the face with the gun. And then we see Amelia Clark as Sarah Connor setting up a rifle, and then she shoots the shit out of the 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 Terminator that just came through. Uh, that was kind of cool. I was like, where the hell are they getting these weapons from? That's like a future weapon she used. I would think it is because in the original '84 Terminator, they had no kind of gun that could shoot the Terminator and take him out like
They
that.
had all sorts of like they had like that silo at the end of the film, and
Yeah,
I'm sitting here the whole time thinking, I'm like, damn, buddy, I know that you had 20 years, but like that is a lot of firepower. Now, let's talk Sarah Connor. I'm not sure if we have the same opinion on Emilia Clarke's
Uh huh.
performance. I know that we both enjoy her acting as Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Like, how do you think her acting in this movie compared to that performance?
I think in Game of Thrones, she's not asked to carry an episode. Nobody's ever asked to carry an episode in Game of Thrones. Um, and now she's being asked to help carry a movie,
Yeah.
and you could see it. Just I don't want to say she was bad, but I thought she could have been better. Um, and I'm used to seeing a lot of her on Game of Thrones, and I didn't see much of Emilia Clarke as I was hoped to to see in Terminator Genesis.
You mean you got a little tease, right?
Yeah,
Because she did get naked for the transporter.
yeah, but I didn't see any of it. I didn't see anything.
She's not gonna
Yeah,
get naked again, man. Like, I think the naked days are over for her. That was her, dues paying, and now she's done with it. I was not pleased at all by her performance. I thought that it was just really clunky, and I wonder if part of that is because she really tried to sound like Linda Hamilton, and I wonder if like her attempt to really just have like develop those cadences and use just like those mannerisms really held her back. Like, it's like, girl, you could be your own Sarah Connor, but
well,
yeah,
yeah, no, go ahead and finish. Yeah.
instead she was kind of like the second rate Linda Hamilton. And I mean, like, I'm definitely not like, she is definitely a strong character, or rather she was written to be a strong character, and I was there for that. But her Emilia Clarke's performance left something to be wanted.
So the way I feel about it is that when Linda Hamilton did it, between Terminator and Terminator 2, you saw the transformation physically in Linda Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
She went from this soft looking girl to this like battle hardened military woman.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it in her appearance. She was like cut up. Her arms, I mean, her body changed.
Yeah.
She looks so different. And Amelia Clark looks like a soft girl trying to have a hard attitude. Like the body just didn't match the attitude. Like she was this soldier and
She
she
didn't
didn't look
have
the role of a soldier.
Even if she didn't have the body, like, that would be fine if she had the presence.
Yeah.
And she did not have the presence. It was kind of like she was like, again, the character was written to be strong. I think it was all her performance. Like, she just seemed like a little girl playing with guns sometimes. Not all the time, but
Yeah.
like significantly. And whenever she was trying to be kind of a hard ass, like, it just came off as fake.
And so what did you think of Jai Courtney? He's the actor who plays Kyle Reese,
Oh
and
God.
he's been in plenty of things. He was in the last Die Hard movie. He was in Jack Reacher. He's going to be in what is it? I mean, the guy is very busy. Um,
Uh, I
Actually,
just
he was in Insurgent,
Oh,
and in Divergent.
he's
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah,
I did
yeah,
not even
yeah.
recognize
He's
him.
Eric.
I
He's in the Insurgent series or
did
Divergent
not
series.
recognize him as Eric. That is insane.
Yeah.
I did not recognize him. Unfortunately, I didn't think he was all that great either. I
And he's
didn't.
going to be in Suicide Squad as Captain Boomerang. So
Oh,
he is a busy,
he's
busy guy,
busy.
Jai Courtney or
You know
Jay
what?
Courtney. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
You know what?
Um,
The
mhm.
the thing with that character is, like, I think, like, he's meant, like, a lot of it, the performance is really like 80% chemistry with Sarah Connor.
Right.
Because otherwise there's not a lot to Kyle Reese except like, I love you, John. I'm gonna get in this time travel thing for you. I love you, Sarah. Like, this is why I came over for you. So I feel like 90% of that performance needed to be chemistry.
Right.
They did not have.
Right. I think they kind of. I mean, even in the movie, they kind of alluded to it. Like they kind of made it weird
Mm.
from the get-go that that she was going to have to sleep with this guy because she already knew.
Yeah.
So before we get any further, obviously, uh, everybody comes back. Kyle Reese comes back in time, and the young Arnie goes back to 1984, obviously to a different 1984, as Johanna stated earlier, because when Sarah Connor was 9, a Terminator showed up. Two Terminators show up and to kill her, and one Terminator to kill her, one to save her, which is Arnold, and the other Terminator does not kill Sarah Connor but kills her parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a huge plot hole. They address it, but they never really do as to how Arnold got there. But that's neither here nor there now. I mean,
And
so
then, I mean, you go further, like when they time travel again, it's like
right,
I was trying to like deconstruct it like out loud with my husband, and my husband was like, "Honey, just," he's like, "Don't try,
yeah, just go
don't
with
try,
it.
go." With it.
There's certain things you don't try to figure out,
That.
and this is one of them. I mean, so they dispatch of so they have a T1000 now in 1984. You have you have old Arnold and young Arnold, the T800s, duking it out. And Sarah Connor and old Arnold killed the T800, and now they go and go to pick up Kyle Reese at the sporting goods store. Right? They just smash through the wall, through the store, and then they as Jai Courtney is getting ready to be killed by the T1000, something he's never seen before, uh, didn't know how to handle it. She comes in and says the famous line in every Terminator: "Come with me if you want to live." Right?
Yeah.
He jumps in the car and they take off. But prior to him jumping in the car, he does save a police officer, which turned out to be really important.
Yes.
Which,
And really funny.
yeah, I'm like, because when after they make the jump to 2017, um, and then J.K. Simmons shows up, and he's like, "Hey, don't you remember me?" Blah blah blah. I was like, dude, you are not the cop that you saved. I was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, so J.K. Simmons of J.
Yeah.
Jonah Jameson fame, and most recently, what was the music movie he just did? He won the Oscar for it.
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
He was also Juno's dad
Juno's
in
dad,
Juno.
yes, and Juno.
Yeah. He was great. Um, because obviously, like, the cop people, like, basically, like, as expected, Emilia Clarke and Kyle Reese end up in police custody, and they come to him, and he's like, "I need to see them," and they're like, "Why?" He's like, "Because they're time travelers." So he sounds absolutely crazy to everybody, and his delivery is just, I mean, like, these like conspiracy theory things is just
Yeah, he
amazing.
reminds me of the Doctor, who was in Terminator and Terminator 2. The Doctor was trying to tell everybody, no, they're like from the future or something, and nobody believes him. That's what J.K. Simmons reminded me of in this movie. Like he's the Doctor, except he's just a cop now, and he's trying to get people to believe that these people are time travelers. Um, but the reason why they go to 2017 is because Kyle Reese is starting to have dual memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because originally it was thought that 1997 when Skynet was going to take over the world, but according to Kyle Reese's dual memory, because he's trying to remember two timelines, uh, and he convinces Sarah Connor they got to go to 2017, and all this time, uh, Sarah Connor and old Arnie are working on a time machine, and they needed the CPU from the T800 or from any Terminator they would come in contact with in 1984 and to turn this thing on. It cracks me up how they just take pieces from other things and just make it work with what they have. Like, oh, we just plug this in, woo, now it works. You know, but and they're going to prevent Cyberdyne Systems from creating the Genesis app. Now, I thought this was kind of weak, Johanna.
Yes.
It's an app that allows you to combine everything together, like all your documents, your phone, your tablet, and all that stuff
And
together.
and all I told what I said to Shanta, my husband, was, don't we have that already? Like, for example, right now I'm recording this podcast on my iPad, and I've got my computer open, I've got my phone, and everything is like blinking with my Facebook messages and my text messages. like I think we're there. So it was really weak because like that's kind of what they kept saying, but that's the only thing that they kept saying is literally just, this app is a lifestyle app that's going to connect all your devices.
Yeah,
So
and I thought it was weak. I was like, really? In 2017, this is what you come up with? This is how
yeah.
Skynet's going to take over because it's going to be fully connected. And, and before the launch, of course, there was a billion downloads. You know, they made a huge point to say that it's a billion downloads. It's ready to go. And
And like, no, because then it turns into like a get off my lawn, you crazy kids moment where they're like, everyone is like with these screens and everyone has their phones and it's really horrible and this is the end of the world because they're doing this. And it's like, give me a fucking break. Where are you? Are you back in like 2000 or anything? Do you know what I mean? It felt like such a
mhm,
weird message to give, or a weird, like, kind of like you said, like a very weak reason.
yeah,
Like, oh, those dang old kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I thought they could have came up with something, I don't know, more devious,
Yeah.
more futuristic than we have an app that's gonna, connect all your devices together. I'm like, all right,
It's like
big deal.
everyone is too stupid.
Yeah. Uh, but don't let that ruin the action for you because a lot of the action in this movie was pretty good. I did enjoy
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed the fight with the young old Arnie. The T-1000 was great. I love the way they got rid of the T-1000. Um,
Yes.
with using the acid from the roof. Like they already knew. It's like they already knew the T-1000 was coming. You know what I mean? I don't know how they can know that. I mean, certain things they should know, but how the hell would they know the T-1000 was coming? And they had the in their base, they had the roof laced with barrels of acid, and Sarah just starts shooting at the roof or the ceiling rather, and then the acid just starts pouring in it. One thing we learned from Terminator 2 is that acid, uh, can kill the T-1000. So
And
starts
there's a pretty cool way they kill another Terminator later in the movie. And the reason, I think, I mean, Joe, are we going to keep coy about that twist?
about pulling what?
About that twist when they get to 2017?
Yeah, we haven't even got to that part. That is
Okay, well,
the best part. So yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
introduce the twist.
Okay, so they go back to 2017. As I said, the Kyle Reese and Amelia Clark end up naked on a highway because Arnie got the coordinates wrong. They're brought into police custody at a hospital. They're about to be visited by Homeland Security, and John Connor comes through the door. And when John Connor comes through the door, they just assume he's time traveled to save them, or he's time traveled to get rid of Genesis. And then they find out. I don't remember exactly how they find out. They're in the parking lot, and the big twist is that John Connor is a Terminator. Uh,
What?
yeah, John Connor is a Terminator. He's a new kind of Terminator where they injected him with black metal. And so he's John Connor, quote unquote, but like his mind's been melded with this metal, so he cannot be killed. Like he's more indestructible than a T-1000. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he's like a T-1000 and a human just merged together,
Yeah.
and
It's
he becomes an all new type of Terminator.
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and I mean, it was kind of cool, but I mean, I think they figured out relatively quick how to stop it. I mean, they couldn't stop him with, obviously with bullets or anything like that. Um, so they figured out magnetism, which they figure out like right away in
It
in the hospital because he gets stuck to an MRI machine.
it's kind of like, I mean, those you know those little things that you would play with, the ones where you'd use the fillings
Yep.
to make the mustache, but a little more complicated, obvi. Um I did not like the stupid twist, and I think that it's because it might actually have not been the twist. I think I didn't like the actor.
Not a
I
Jason Clark fan.
well, I mean, I saw him in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I mean, like that's the thing though. He was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He wasn't that important, so you're kind of like, eh. And when I first found out that Jason Clark was going to play John Connor, I said he looks like John Connor. He looks like someone who's been through some shit. He's like husky. He you know, more than I think anybody else who's played John Connor, he looks like John Connor because he's battle hardened and stuff. Um, so I was like, okay, you know, like there's going to be that typical, let's say 10 to 15 minutes where, you know, I already knew the plot. He's going to be on screen and it's, you know, it's going to be cool. And then we're going to get to the other people who are going to be the rest of the movie. Nope. So you've got Jason Clark, and his performance is not very good, and he's playing the villain. And it's at this point, like I was telling Joe, that I actually thought Christian Bale could have done better. He was, you know, for me, like for in Salvation, I liked Salvation. He was not the best part to me. I liked Sam Worthington. He would have rocked that villain role. That's like got Patrick Bateman all over it. So, but Jason Clark as the villain, like I was just like, come on, dude. Like it just didn't. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Joe?
I thought I thought it was yeah. I just thought it was okay. You know, it wasn't. I mean, I spoiled it for myself because I did some reading about it before I saw the movie, so I already knew he was going to be a Terminator. And actually, in one of the trailers, they kind of allude to it.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming, but it didn't, didn't hurt. It didn't make me any less disappointed. I mean, it was. I was like, okay. I think I was more disappointed with the fact that they figured out how to kill it rather quickly
yeah.
with the MRI stuff, and as soon as they they lose that first battle with him, Arnold's immediately trying to come up with you know magnetic fists and stuff like that to
Which
to
was
help
kind of
him,
cool.
yeah, to help him combat it, and he gets it from a speaker, and he starts making these things they put on his hands to help him injure this new Terminator.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that part was okay. It was like, I mean, they made him so powerful. I was like, unless you have a magnet, how the hell are you gonna beat him? Unless you have like a huge
Yeah.
ass magnet, how the hell are you gonna beat him? Uh,
But
obviously they do beat him. I mean, but it was like, all right, how many times can Arnold come back? I mean, Arnold was, gets his ass kicked, of course, like he always does, because he's always facing a more advanced Terminator. But Arnie always finds a way. He
I
finds a
mean,
way.
how smart are they supposed to be? The term, I guess, like that sort of strategy is like, is it par for the course? I don't know. I always forget whether they're just like brute strength with like little, you know, cameras and shit, or if like they're able to just reason that complexly. I don't know. Maybe
No,
I'm
they're
wrong.
supposed to be like super smart. I mean, they're like he can figure out the probability of certain, uh, you know, tactical things. Like when they were on the bridge and
Mm-hmm.
they saw the cops, he's like, I have 12 rounds, but I need 16 in order to safely get us out of here. So, you know, I advise we surrender. you know, um,
No,
yeah,
that
but
yeah.
I thought the actual action scenes at the end were pretty cool.
Yes.
They were
I
decent, and the new uh, Arnold gets reborn in the end of the movie. He becomes, I don't know, he has no model number, but because they had, by the time 2017 comes around, they invent the liquid metal piece, but they don't know how to use it yet. And Arnold falls into a pool of this liquid metal,
Yeah.
and because he has the CPU in his head, he comes out and he's a bigger, better Terminator now.
I mean, it's pretty incredible when he puts to let them out, like they're trapped in this room at the end, and he uses his hand as a blade to get them out, and they're like, "Oh my
Yeah,
God!" And it's like, "No, it's actually me."
yeah.
Um, that
Pops, Pops. We never even addressed that she calls him Pops.
Pops.
Yeah, she calls Terminator Pops.
And of course, who's the Maboober? I'm sorry, Kyle Reese is horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified. He's absolutely horrified. I love that magnetic thing at the end. They put on the magnetic field, and then John Connor like is slowly like falling apart. It was,
Well,
I mean, the effects were,
yeah, when they throw him into the because they started the Cyberdyne system started building the time machine,
yes.
right? So yeah, they throw him into the unfinished time machine, which is just at this point a magnetic field, and it just rips him to pieces. And say la vie to John Connor Terminator. I mean, and it's pretty much over. Uh, and again, like I said, I still enjoyed it. There was a lot of great scenes. I don't want to spoil. I mean, we spoiled a lot of it. I don't want to spoil all of it.
No. Um,
There were a lot of great scenes, action scenes, which that we didn't really delve into. But yeah, I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised, and I would recommend people go see it. If you can go early in the morning to see it, don't spend all your hard-earned cash.
I mean,
But check it
this
out.
this is definitely a movie to see in the theaters, in my opinion, because the effects are great. I mean, I we debated going to see 3D or 3D IMAX. I get motion sickness, and if I didn't, I would have gone to see this in IMAX. It would have been really fucking cool. But that's because of the effects and stuff. If you're looking for like really good acting and that's what's going to bring you into the theater or into like IMAX, no, 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 no. But you get a lot of Arnold one-liners, and I thought he was great. Asian Terminator for the win as well.
Yeah, there's a ton of one-liners and a lot of banter between Kyle Reese and Arnold.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because Kyle obviously doesn't trust the Terminator. His first instinct was to try and kill him when he saw him. Uh, but after they get to know each other, they get to really bond and become friends. And so it was kind of weird. And clearly at the end of this movie, the future is going to be far different, right?
Yes.
One thing like was a little sad about is they never consummated this relationship, unlike in the very first Terminator. So like, again, I couldn't see Amelia Clark, and
They did not
uh,
mate.
they did not mate.
They did not mate.
Yeah, and like I stated earlier, they made it like a big deal in the movie.
Yeah.
Like Arnold's like keeps asking her, "Did you mate with him yet? Did you mate with him?"
And that's
making it making it uncomfortable.
that was my whole thing too. And Sean told me like I needed to just let it go. Is if he didn't bone a baby inside her in 1984, and then they like go to 2017, like is John Connor even like alive?
Well, here's the thing, and this is where we start to get a little sketchy with the timelines, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there are infinite timelines, right?
Yes.
So in one timeline, yes, John Connor would cease to exist because because as of 1984, they didn't do anything in 1984. The baby
Mm-hmm.
John Connor wasn't born in 1984.
Yeah.
So yes, you would change the timeline there, but in another timeline they do create him in 1984. I mean, there's so many different ways that they could back out of the story and say, like, for example, had John Connor succeeded in killing Sarah Connor, he wipes out his own existence, right? So
Mhm.
therefore, he never becomes that Terminator thing. I mean, but he still could be, and he still could, because killing his own mother might not affect him in the present time. It gets really weird to try to figure out and understand. I've seen other shows do this, where they're time travel shows, and I've seen them kill relatives, that should that should prevent their existence, but it doesn't. And they always come up with explanations of the different timelines, this and that, because essentially going back, you've already changed things when you go back.
Yes.
Just by being there, you've changed everything. So, yeah, it gets too convoluted to even try to understand. You just gotta just go with it.
That's like that that Austin Powers movie where he goes back in time and like he starts trying to figure out like, what is going to happen and he's, oh my god, my head hurts. And then Michael Caine says, he's like, just go along for the ride. And then he turns to the audience and he says, you too.
Hmm. You
um
too, exactly.
like don't worry about it when you're watching the movie. It definitely was not a groaner. Like I wasn't upset the entire time that it sucked. I actually enjoyed myself. Joe and I talked about how like it was better than Salvation, and I have to agree. Because there's only about 15 minutes of Salvation that did it for me. um, so it's it's good, I guess.
Yeah, I would say it was good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's not great. But you know what? Go see it in the theater. I think it's a better experience in the theater, and you may have wanted something great and got this movie instead, but the movie's not bad. You know, I guess that's the best thing I can say about it. It's not bad, but
No,
it's
it's
still
not.
good enough to see in the theater.
I mean, please, God, please, if you've been listening to this podcast, do not expect Judgment Day. Please, please do not expect T2 or Terminator. Okay, like do not, please put those thoughts out of your mind and treat this kind of like as a spin-off. It is like a spin-off of like your favorite movie. It's never gonna be as good. It's like Joni Loves Chachi and Happy Days,
Wow,
right?
wow,
Right.
Jody loves Chachi. I am shocked that you brought that out. Brought that up. Yes, it's like Joni loves Chachi.
Exactly. So like you got to take it for what it is, and I found it extremely entertaining as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Johanna and I give it thumbs up and
Yeah,
go check it out. Enjoy Arnie and all his glory as the Terminator.
seriously. It just like eat it all up because he is chewing the scenery like no one's business.
Yes. So what's
Yes.
next up? What movie's going to be next for us? Is it going to be Ant-Man? Are you going to see Ant-Man?
I'll watch it if you watch it.
I'm definitely going to go watch it, so you have to watch it.
Is
So,
it next weekend?
uh 17th. Yeah, not this
Mm,
weekend, but next weekend.
okay,
So the
so
weekend of the 17th, we'll come back. We'll see Ant-Man that weekend. Come
mm-hmm.
back and give you guys another review, and then 2 weeks
Right.
after that is the movie I've been waiting all summer for, which is Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Oh
So
God, help us all. Uh,
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be the most awesome movie you see all summer.
really,
Uh, I
I
guarantee it.
I want to see the one where he climbs up the Burj Khalifa.
The what?
The Burj Khalifa is doesn't he climb up the Burj Khalifa in one of those movies?
Is that the name of the building?
Yeah, I think it's in
Malaysia? No, no, not Malaysia.
Dubai. I
Dubai,
want to
Dubai.
say it's
Yeah,
Dubai.
Dubai. It is
Yeah.
Dubai. Yes, that was in Ghost Protocol, which was a great movie. Add that to your list of movies you need to see.
Okay. Joe, I'm gonna make you watch a movie I want to see at some point.
It's cool. What movie is that? You let me know. I will see it and we will talk. We will discuss it.
I can't think of one right now, but
Exactly. So it's
uh,
good.
I will definitely think of it. Oh, I should make you watch Magic Mike.
I mean, at least I could take Lydia to see that. My wife,
Oh,
she wants to see it. So,
well, I don't want to see it. So.
oh, okay, good. Thank God.
Well, we'll see. Oh, maybe Minions. That's not going to be very exciting. I will figure it out. We will do this thing, but for now, it'll be Joe and Joe at Ant-Man in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, hopefully Malik will join too. So
Yes. So it'll
yeah,
be it'll be Joe Malik Joe. Joe Malik. Joe Malik. Malik Jojo.
JMJ. It'll be JMJ.
JMJ.
Yeah.
JMJ.
So I think we covered Terminator Genesis. I think that's a wrap.
Right. Stick a fork in it.
Yep, stick a fork in it. So for Johanna, I'm Joe. Thanks for joining us at Agents of Helm at the Movies. Have a good night. Take care and see you next time. Later.